dying.
No more war.
How do we get to no more dying?
And then she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I don't want anyone to die anymore.
Yeah.
We should stop the war. And she's like, but do you want? And it's like, no. My goal, everyone's goal, because I'm an Irish Catholic from Long Island who grew up with this was not a meaningful thing for my family.
Yeah.
It's not like my mother came home and was like, Israel, like we just weren't, I'm not as super educated about the issue either. I don't pretend to be.
Yeah.
I just know that we can't see levels of destruction like this in the modern world. When you're looking at your phone and you're seeing children displaced and families displaced and no hospitals and those that, it's not going to work. And I think ultimately it makes Israel less safe and it diminishes their credibility internationally, a reaction like this. Yeah. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't have responded. They needed to respond. They absolutely had to respond. It was an attack on Israel from Hamas. It was an act of war. You also respond with an act of war.
Yeah.
Completely understandable.
Violence begets violence.
Violence begets violence. At some point in any conflict, you have to figure out how to end the conflict.
Do you think that the countries in the Middle East are in some ways complicit with what's happening? Like they almost kind of want terrorism wiped out so they can get some Western dollars in there? It feels like everybody's ready to let capitalism run wild.
Well, Iran has always been...
Outside of Iran.
They've always been kind of an agitator in that region. They don't really get along with Saudi Arabia. Saudi and Arabia and Israel actually had like kind of a
kind of boys. UAE, Israel's good. Egypt, Israel's good. Jordan, Israel's good.
But I think this has strained a lot of those relationships too, because the citizens in those countries are like, this is...
The citizens, I think, are furious, but I wonder if the governments are like, hey, listen, we need no terrorism over here. We can't have random bombings.
Yes,
I don't want any of this political unrest. If you got to go in there and wipe it clean...
I was the one who very bravely...
What did you do?
You want to hear this?
Yeah, you lit a guy on fire outside of an Israeli embassy.
When they were trying to kick the heads of Hamas out of the Four Seasons Doha, Qatar, I said no. Because I believe in brand loyalty as a concept.
Yeah.
They had lived in the Four Seasons for a very long time. First of all, there's not a lot of great chains in hotels in the world. There are not. There are not. I've stayed in a lot. And I'm saying I disagree with what Hamas did, but making them stay at a lesser hotel is not going to make them less angry. It's going to piss them off.
Butter them up.
I said leave them in the Four Seasons. In fact, make it nicer.
Bring them to an Amman.
Bring them to an Amman.
The war's over.
Let's get it really...
The war's over.
But if they're in a Marriott?
Spa day. No, we don't want
to be carnage at a Marriott.
But it is funny because these are the things in the modern world, why all of this stuff is crazy. It's insane is because that's a news story. Should the leaders of Hamas get kicked out of the Four Seasons? That's insane. It's an insane news story.
Why is there not more pressure on the Four Seasons for that?
The breakfast is amazing. No, phenomenal breakfast.
They sell their sheets and pillows.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. We all, for example, the Beverly Hills Hotel is owned by people who throw gay people off the roof, right? Now,
is it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Who's it owned by?
Sultan Brunei, Dorchester Group.
And they throw gay people off the roofs.
They have.
Not at the Beverly Hills
Hotel.
Not
at
that
the
hotel.
Beverly
Clientele.
Where they're from.
We'll just break a leg. I've tried. No. So where they're from, it's not good. It's not good. The progressive values aren't good. But if I have to have lunch at the Waldorf, I will throw myself off the roof.
That's a good point.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
If I have to have the chicken salad at the Waldorf, I